Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The message arrived at 2:13 a.m., glowing against the darkness like a wound that refused to close. I'm in Paris. Don't wait. For a moment I thought it was a joke, a misplaced text, or some careless misunderstanding. I reread it 3 times, the dots swimming in my vision, until the meaning slammed into me like a physical blow. Paris. She was supposed to be in Karachi. My hands trembled as I typed my reply. I won't. Divorce is waiting. Then I dropped the phone onto the floor and pressed my palms over my face, the silence of the room folding in on me. It wasn't just the message, it was the timing. Just last night, she had kissed me goodnight with the same soft indifference she'd been carrying for months. The kind that said she was somewhere else even when she stood right in front of me. Her name was Sarah. We'd been married 7 years. 7 years of shared laughter, fights, and compromises that had become our love language. She'd been distant lately, citing exhaustion from work, back-to-back meetings, and a new client project that demanded travel. Travel, yes, but Paris. I stood up, heart thudding, and walked into our bedroom. Her closet was half empty. Hangers swinging like metronomes marking the rhythm of betrayal. The scent of her perfume, light and floral, lingered in the air, mocking me. The faintest clue sat on the dresser, a printed itinerary with a departure time I hadn't noticed before. She hadn't hidden it well. Maybe she didn't care to. Maybe she wanted me to find out this way, by accident, or through the digital cruelty of a text message. I made coffee I didn't drink and sat by the window, staring at the city lights bleeding into dawn. How long had she been planning this? When did we become strangers who lied through smiles? Had I missed the signs, or had I chosen not to see them? There was that one night 2 weeks ago when she came home late. Her makeup slightly smudged, her laughter forced. I'd asked where she'd been and she said, "Just dinner with a client." Her phone had vibrated as she spoke. She'd flipped it over too fast. And I, like a fool, had smiled and said, "Okay." Love, I realized, is often an accomplice to its own betrayal. By the time the sun rose, I had already gone through her emails, her messages, and her social media. Not obsessively. Just enough to confirm what I already knew in my bones. There he was, Daniel. Client from Paris. His messages were casual but too familiar. Compliments that lingered on her photos. Emojis that felt like touches. Then came the receipts. A booking confirmation for 2 at a Parisian hotel. Dated 3 days ago. My heart didn't shatter. Simply went quiet. Like the calm right before a storm tears through everything you thought was stable. That evening I called her mother. She said she was traveling for work, her mother replied, confusion lacing her tone. Paris. I thought it was Dubai. Yeah, I said softly. We all did. I hung up before she could ask anything more. I didn't want to turn Sarah's betrayal into family gossip. I wanted to keep the ruin private, at least until I could gather what was left of myself. 3 days later I received another message. Please don't do anything stupid. I'll explain when I'm back. I stared at it for a long time. My thumbs hovered over the screen, but I didn't reply. What could she possibly explain? The only stupid thing I'd done was believe her when she said love was forever. Instead I did something quiet. I packed her belongings. Every dress, every shoe, every book she'd once loved. I placed them in boxes, neatly labeled like the memories they once were. Then I found our wedding photo. The one where she was laughing, looking right at me as if she truly saw forever. I traced her face with my thumb and whispered, "You were everything I never thought I'd lose." The doorbell rang. It was my friend, Adil. He took one look at me and didn't ask. Just sat down beside me in silence, sipping the coffee I'd made out of habit. After a while he said quietly, "You're not angry enough." "I am," I said, staring at the boxes. "I just haven't decided what to do with it yet." He nodded. "You'll know when it's time." That night I wrote the divorce papers. Not out of rage but clarity. Betrayal, I realized, isn't about someone leaving you. It's about them leaving while pretending to stay. The next morning, I mailed the documents to her office and sent her one final message. You don't need to explain anymore. The silence already did. Then I blocked her number. A week later, a letter arrived. Handwritten, postmarked from Paris. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity, that cruel instinct, won. Inside she wrote, I didn't mean for it to happen. Daniel wasn't supposed to be anything more than work. But he made me feel seen, and I didn't know how much I missed that until now. Sorry. You were kind, steady, and patient, but I was dying inside. Maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I wanted to feel alive again. Please don't hate me. I folded the letter neatly, slid it into the fireplace, and watched the paper curl and blacken. Her words turned to ash before I could feel the ache they carried. For the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. Because love doesn't end when betrayal begins. It ends when forgiveness no longer feels like freedom. I stepped outside, the wind cold against my face, and looked up at the gray morning sky. Somewhere thousands of miles away, she was probably walking through the Paris streets, convincing herself she'd made the right choice. And maybe she had. But so had I. The phone buzzed again. A new message from my lawyer, confirming the paperwork was filed. I typed one final text before turning the device off. I won't wait. I'm free. Then I walked away from the house that had once held love, into a world that no longer owed me explanations.